As a 32-year-old professional footballer who's been training and playing this game for 28 years, I've made a lot of dumb mistakes that have wasted a lot of time. Now, having said that, I'm a big believer if you just get outside, get touches on the ball, and play, you will improve. But there's definitely a way to optimize your training so you can get the most out of every single session. So to kick it off, the first training mistake I see players make is not tailoring the session to your game. As a young up-and-coming footballer, you should be developing the entirety of your game. But along the way, you should be asking yourself, what specific area is holding me back from getting to that next level? Whatever that next level might be, whether that's the A team of your club team, getting on an academy team, playing collegiate soccer, or playing professionally. You just have to sit down, dissect your game, preferably with the help of a mentor or coach or somebody, and figure out what part of your game is holding you back from achieving that next goal. If you're not doing that and you just go to the field and you follow a general training plan that you find on TikTok, or even if you just copy one of my training sessions, you're not fully maximizing what you can get out of that session or what you need to get from that session. Sometimes it can just be doubling down on your strengths, making your strengths even stronger so you can stand out more. Sometimes it's bringing up a glaring deficiency in your game. Sometimes it's getting more match fit and just adding more fitness with the ball, or sometimes it's that control or composure in tight areas. Whatever it is, identify that area of your game and then tailor majority of your sessions to be focusing and improving that area. The second huge mistake I see so many young players making is having an inconsistent training schedule. And this, I think, is one of the worst mistakes you can make. If you truly want to be a professional footballer, then you need to adopt the training schedule of a pro footballer. I often say that training should be the equivalent of brushing your teeth in the morning. It doesn't need motivation. It's not good days, bad days. Some days you do it, some days you don't. It's just something you get up and you do. I see so many young players go through these crazy dips and valleys and peaks of motivation, and for a week, they're just training like Ronaldo every single day, multiple sessions a day, great gym work, healthy diet, all that kind of stuff. And then 2 weeks later, they're fizzled out and they're not doing anything. Then they come back in and they start a new gym program. They only stick with it for a few weeks, then they fizzle out again, then they take a break, then they go into this binge of unhealthy eating and lack of motivation. They're not training. Then they're like, oh, I got to get my stuff together again. They come back and do 4 hard weeks of training, but it's all over the map. It's incomparable how much better just being consistent over the long term is going to be for your game versus if you have the perfect training schedule and you go harder than anybody else, but it's only for a few weeks before you burn out. I am a pro, not because I am crazy talented or because I have the best training plan ever or because of some crazy thing that I do. It really is just because I've been training 4 to 5 days a week, lifting 1 to 3 times a week, a game on the weekend, and I've been doing that for 50 weeks out of the 52 weeks in a year for the last 20 years. Now, speaking of consistency, I want to talk about another thing I've been very consistent with, and that's been tracking my body composition with the Body Pod by today's sponsor, Hume. As a pro footballer, optimizing my performance is everything, but the number on the scale usually doesn't tell the full story. I can be leaner, stronger, fitter than ever, but that number on the scale stays exactly the same. That's where the Body Pod from Hume Health really comes in. The Body Pod is not your typical smart scale. It's a full body analyzer. Think of it like having an in-body scan right in your home. It's insanely accurate. It's up to 98% as accurate as the $20,000 machines that you find at elite training facilities, but it's small enough to fit anywhere in your home. Most smart scales only analyze the lower half of your body, and then they use formulas or equations to estimate the rest. The Body Pod includes this really cool retractable handle, so you can calculate your entire body's composition accurately, top to bottom. It tracks over 40 different health metrics, including detailed muscle and fat breakdown, hydration levels, and even cardiovascular markers. My personal favorite thing to measure and monitor over the season is how my body fat and my lean muscle mass change month to month, because my body at 170 pounds and 20% body fat is a completely different athlete and footballer than 170 pounds at 8% body fat. The app can even give you analytics on your sleep, nutrition, and activity, and gives you clear, actionable feedback. It's like having a personal health coach on your phone. For me, it's been flagging my sleep quality as an area to focus on, and that's helped me make real changes to recover after matches. So if you want to try the Body Pod by Hume Health for yourself, then click the link in my description and be sure to use my discount code BECOMEELITE to save yourself 35% off your order. And the best part is that my discount code actually stacks on Hume's current sale, so you can get up to 50% off the Body Pod. But you gotta hurry because it's only valid for 7 days. And if you have an HSA or FSA account, then you can actually get this covered through your insurance. So there'd be zero out-of-pocket cost for you. I wanna give a massive thanks to Hume Health for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to these training mistakes. The third big mistake I see players make is only focusing in on individual training or only doing team training. And this is a mistake that I've made in the past. I've been in off season as a footballer and I've just had nobody that I can train with. And I kind of use that as an excuse and I just end up just doing individual training for weeks and weeks and weeks. By doing that, I was able to really develop areas of my game that I need to improve technically: crossing, finishing, passing, first touch, because I got so many touches on the ball day to day. But by not playing with other players constantly, all of a sudden I was shocked coming into preseason at how fast the speed of play was because I've been out of the loop for the last couple months. And on the flip side, if you're only doing team training, yeah, the speed of play, the tactical IQ, all that stuff's gonna be great, but you're not gonna get the amount of touches and focus you might need on other parts of your game. In team training, since there's so many other players and they're doing other stuff besides just focusing on your development, sometimes you might not get that many shots in a team training session. You might not even get that many touches in a team training session. While an individual session, just with the ball for 45 minutes, you can get thousands of touches or dozens of shots or hundreds of passes. And the exact balance of team training to individual training is going to differ week to week, month to month, whenever, based off of if you're in season or off season, if your team is training 2 times a week or 5 times a week, if you're in a stretch of games where you have 3 games every week, or if you're in a bye weekend and you have no games. So it looks different week to week based off of your team training schedule, but you need to find the right balance for yourself and for your game. The fourth mistake I see players make is not varying the intensity of their drills. And this is kind of a weird one, but I see players on both ends of the spectrum here. I sometimes go to the field and see players doing every single drill so slow and methodical and trying to get every single touch and action on the ball to be perfect, and they never truly hit game speed. And the problem with that is you end up going into a team training session or game and it actually is game speed and you're not used to making the same actions on the ball at that pace. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I see players sometimes just do every single drill 100 miles an hour and just try to do it as game realistic and fast and intense, and they go with the approach of, if at the end of the session I'm dead and tired and sweating, that it was a good session. But the problem with that is sometimes your touches can be all over the place. You're ingraining bad habits or bad techniques sometimes, and sometimes you really just need to slow it down to work on some of the fundamentals of the game. I really think that you need to have drills on both ends of the spectrum in your sessions, because there is a time and a place to slow things down and really work on the technique of your crossing and hitting that ball every single time on the sweet spot, just rolling the ball out and whipping it across, or just taking a touch and doing a shot, or just hitting the wall and getting reps in. And then I also think there's a time and a place where you need to push it and really go game speed and push outside of your comfort zone and get used to moving and getting touches and playing at a game realistic speed. But if you only do one or the other, then you're missing out on a crucial part of your development. And finally, number 5, and this is the biggest training mistake I see and I personally get frustrated with, but that's when you do too much of your training without the ball. A little part of me dies when I see a player at the field doing a 90-minute training session and 20 of those minutes are spent warming up without the ball, doing dynamic actions, all great things, but it's all without the ball. Then they move to a speed ladder, do some footwork for the next 10, 15 minutes. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of plyometrics and running, sprinting. Again, great stuff. But now we're 30, 40 minutes in the session with 0 touches. And then after that, they might start incorporating the ball. But even then with those drills, majority of the drills are without it. They're running around zigzag cone weaves. They're doing, again, more speed ladder stuff. They're jumping. They're doing all this kind of stuff without the ball. And then maybe just doing one little pass into a mini goal and then restarting the rep. And then to finish the session, they put the ball away and they just do 20, 30 minutes of fitness all without the ball. There's nothing wrong inherently with a dynamic warm-up without the ball, or speed and agility work, or cutting or landing mechanics, or working on band work, or working on ladder work, or doing fitness without the ball. But when your entire 90-minute session is majority without the ball, and that happens over and over again, then that's a problem. There's so many great ways to incorporate ball work into your dynamic warm-up. There's so many great ways you can still work on your sprint speed and your cutting and your accelerating and still incorporate the ball. There's so many great ways that you can work on your plyometrics and your landing mechanics and also include the ball. There's so many great ways that you can do fitness with the ball. Now, the entire session doesn't have to be with the ball, but for me, if 80% of my session is not with the ball, then I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And having said that, sometimes I even have a full session where there's no ball, but it's 30, 40 minutes, and that's just one day out of maybe 2 weeks where every other session is with the ball. So if majority of your training session is done without the ball, and you do that over and over again, day after day, week after week, then you're doing a great job at becoming a great athlete, but you're not doing a great job at becoming a great footballer. And the goal here is to become a great footballer. So anyway, guys, that is my 5 big mistakes I see amateur players making. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace.